Well, the point of having the leverage is doing your best to get as close to that as you possibly can, right? It's not basketball. Jay, in basketball, there's a number you can point to me. There's a super max that you can't talk me out of. We don't have super max. We don't have max deals. It's not, if you've been with this team for so long, they can offer you more than this team. We don't have that. That's not how it works in football. So your thing is to get as close as you possibly can to your number. Get as close as you possibly can to your wants and pull the team away from theirs as much as you possibly can. And that's where Dak Prescott is right now. Dak Prescott can't go in and demand a Patrick Mahomes deal. You know why? Because he ain't Patrick Mahomes. But he can start talking about some of that Deshaun Watson money, that Russell Wilson money that he was expecting last year. I think that conversation shifts in his direction. That conversation is now playing on his side of the football. And so I think he gets more than he was going to get last year. I believe he'll understand that. He'll get more guaranteed. He may even get the length of deal that was kind of keeping these two sides apart. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to break the bank and now become by far the highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Now, Ryan, follow me here, though, right? Because it wasn't you. It was somebody else in Pittsburgh that played the safety position. It wasn't you that went to New England and was poking the GOAT like Chase Young has been doing over the last week. Who was that? You know what I'm talking about. And Tom Brady and Randy Moss and crew went after him repeatedly over the top. I just can't remember the name of that safety.
I don't want to do my dog like this. I know he
but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Saying his name. It's my homeboy Anthony Smith, bro. Good.
That's who it was. Yeah. So now here's the question: should Chase Young be worried about becoming Anthony Smith? Because he has been doing what Anthony did to Tom Brady, talking trash.
You know what? Hell no. And I'm going to tell you why. Here was the difference.
Tell me.
Anthony Smith, at the time, was a second-year safety. He replaced me. That's the year I got sick. And he's playing against Tom Brady in his prime. He's playing against Randy Moss, having the greatest statistical season, touchdown-wise by a wide receiver, and all of these other things going on in New England, right? And he couldn't win his individual battle. You know who can win his individual battle? Chase Young. Now, you may have to worry about Fuller on the outside and Darby on the outside, but the dude that stands in front of Chase Young could whip him. And then the dude he's trying to get to, who is Tom Brady, if those two dudes get face-to-face, I pick Chase Young. Now, does that mean they're going to win the game? No. Does it mean that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't a better team? No. What it means is Chase Young is solely focused on whoever you put across from me can't hold me, and Tom Brady cannot get away from me. I got an opportunity to interview him the day before the draft for Under Armour, and I asked him, who would be your dream quarterback to sack? And he said Tom Brady. It's more a respect thing. It's more of living out a dream thing. Think about how young this dude is and how long Tom Brady's been playing football. Tom Brady's been the greatest quarterback of all time since Chase Young has been paying attention to football. You think he don't want to sack that dude? You think he don't want you to bring on the GOAT? And the other part is, like old girl said on whatever, was it Real Housewives or Love and Hip Hop? Who gonna check him, boo? Nobody. Dude gonna be okay.
I just, I was at that game. I went to that New England game, and I remember
it wasn't
the
funny.
story
It wasn't
pre-game.
Good.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it wasn't
good. It wasn't good.
Fair enough. Remember, Brady's been in the league for basically 20 years, and Chase Young is 21 himself. Ryan, we'll see you on Get Up Top of the Hour with Greeny the Gang on ESPN. Thank you, man.
Y'all boys have a good one.
Oh, man. Bombs away. Oh, those things was flying all over the place. Zuby, you should have seen that. It was crazy. And so I'm there, I go as a guest of New England Patriots, Belichick, and we having pregame conversations. They like, that dude right there, we get ready to do something to him.
Don't poke the bear or the goat or any other animal for that matter. On the way, man, Desmond Howard is one of the most exclusive companies in all of sports, a Heisman Trophy winner. But Dez is also in an even more exclusive group that just got one more member.
Down here, actually. Had a couple of cheeky beverages, if you know what I mean. Fantastic. Just so proud of those boys. I know you guys must be feeling good today. There we go, Rowdy. There we go. Let's go!
Wow, Browns fans are everywhere, including down under. We'll see if they're on top of the scoreboard on Sunday night. They'll have to do it without Kevin Stefanski. So, all right, let's get back on the plane here, go stateside. I'm guessing to Louisiana, to our guy, Ryan Clark, the Super Bowl champion, joining us this morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. He joins us on the Goodyear hotline. All right, Ryan, so take me inside. I mean, you're a Super Bowl champion. How significant is it for the Browns to not have Stefanski out there Sunday night?
Think about how many times we talked about Baker Mayfield's success this season and not tied it to Kevin Stefanski. Every time it's a Baker Mayfield, quote unquote, breakout game, or Baker Mayfield proves something to the doubters, it's because we say Kevin Stefanski put him in the right positions to do so. He's not only the head coach, but he's the play caller. And when you have to do all of those things from the same position, I think your worth is a little bit different than most head coaches in this league. And so I think this is not only a huge loss as to what it will mean to the Cleveland Browns from a sense of not having your head coach there, not having someone who's delegated the entire season, but you're losing not only your schematic leader, but your actual in-game play caller that understands the vibe and the flow of this team each and every down. And I think that's huge, and it can't go underrated. This is like losing, at least to me, 3 to 7 points in this game to a team that you are already the underdog to.
Ryan, you mentioned they lose Kevin Stefanski as the head coach, but the quarterback coach and Alex Van Pelt takes over play calling duties. Quarterback coach is in the ear and works in conjunction along with Kevin Stefanski in terms of game planning, calling plays. How could this be significant to Baker Mayfield in this particular game?
Well, you know, Key, that's significant because that's the guy you have the most conversations with. So I think it's significant on two parts. Does this take Van Pelt from being able to sit next to Baker Mayfield on the bench and being able to go over the pictures and talk about what happened, because he is delegating, because he now does have a new position. He now has new responsibilities and obligations as the head coach? Or does this give them some sort of synergy and carryover and chemistry from having talked to Van Pelt throughout the season and kind of understood each other, and Van Pelt knows how to get Baker in the right position, knows how to have Baker more comfortable, or as comfortable as he can possibly be, to make those plays? I think it could go either way. And so where it is good that you have someone who's been a part of Kevin Stefanski's start process as the game goes on, it's different when you have to do it from the head coaching position, which Van Pelt will have to do now.
Right, let's talk about the Eagles for a second, man. Give me your unfiltered opinion on, if you were a player on that roster, how would you have handled everything that just went down?
Well, first off, you've been around it, Jay. Like, you take your shower after the game, you grab your stuff, and you go home. Like that's the way you handle it. And now, when you start to be prodded and picked by the media, you understand what response they're trying to get. I think you handle that in the building. You have an exit meeting, right? You talk to the head coach, you talk to your position coach. And in those meetings, you can basically say whatever the hell you want to say. And so if you have an issue with the way Doug Peterson handled that situation, that's when you tell him. You tell him the importance of that game to you. You tell him the importance of that decision. And so I would be pissed off about it. And not pissed off because Doug Peterson made a decision that he felt was good for him, for his team, or good for him, or helped his thought process, as how he saw Nate Sudfeld, but because it wasn't communicated, because it couldn't be adjusted based off of where we were in the game. And when your leader, Jason Kelce, says weeks before that every decision made on the football team should be made with one priority, and that's winning football games, and then your head coach decides to go a different route, and that's not communicated, then those are mixed messages. The team wants one thing, the head coach wants something different, and that needs to be addressed with the head coach.
Let me ask you this though, Ryan, because I've been going back and forth with this thing and trying to understand his communication. If he communicates with them that